Interceptions, but also a pair of TD passes and a huge ovation when he was taken out.
Obviously, the support and the fans and their ovation and their chanting my name from the first snap to the end. I appreciate that and appreciate them always, and just all my teammates coming up to me. So it's a special day, special win. And, one I'll remember.
Giants end a club record tying 9-game losing streak. Most of the other games had playoff implications, like Buffalo's 17-10 win last night in Pittsburgh. The Bills clinch a playoff berth, only their second since 1999. New England pulled away in Cincinnati 34-13, so the Pats are once again in the playoffs. AFC East, they lead the Bills by just one game, and the two teams will play Saturday in Foxborough. Dallas and Philadelphia both won. The Cowboys easily over the Rams, 44-21. The Eagles in Washington, 37-27. Philly trailed with 30 seconds left. NFC East, Cowboys and Eagles both 7-7, and they'll meet Sunday in Philly. The Knicks' 2-game win streak came to an end in Denver, 111-105, but an indication the Knicks are playing better. They lost to the Nuggets recently at the Garden by 37. Nets beat Philadelphia 109-89. Madison Bumgarner leaving the Giants after 11 years. He'll now pitch for Arizona. With the Bloomberg NBC Sports Update, I'm John Stashower. Nathan?
And John, a baseball memorabilia collector's hit a grand slam. The bat that Babe Ruth used to hit his 500th home run sold over the weekend for more than $1 million to an unidentified bidder. That amount is slightly less than the $1.3 million someone paid 15 years ago for the bat Babe Ruth used to hit the first home run out of Yankee Stadium in 1923. You are listening to Bloomberg Daybreak.
Business is constantly evolving. Is your financial printer evolving to keep ahead of the curve? At Command Financial, we are redefining financial printing by providing industry-leading expertise, leveraging technology, and honing processes and best practices. Every day, Command helps SEC registrants, as well as members of their working groups, including securities attorneys and investment bankers, prepare, file, and disseminate regulatory and disclosure documents, such as registration statements, M&A documents, and mutual fund prospectuses and reports. Command provides a full range of services to help you effectively complete your deal, meet your disclosure requirements, and achieve your shareholder communications objectives. Visit our website at commandfinancial.com and learn how we're evolving, not only with the times, but also with your business requirements. Command Financial, redefining financial printing.
Imagine being denied an apartment because of your religion, or your race, or because you have children, or a disability.
It's so wrong.
Yes, but who has the power to stop this?
You do. Each of us has the power. The law is on your side. It's illegal for landlords to discriminate because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status. If you suspect that you have experienced housing discrimination, file a complaint with HUD immediately so we can investigate it. Fair housing is your right.
Use it.
To learn more, visit HUD.gov/fairhousing. That's HUD.gov/fairhousing. Or call 1-800-669-9777. 1-800-669-9777. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Why do hedge funds and...
Where would we be without you? The butchers, the bakers, the digital future makers. From BLTs to MOTs, you're the companies that keep us all going. So mind your business, London. And so will we, with our £14 billion lending fund to help small businesses. Because deal or no deal, from Downing Street to the High Street, every business is part of something far, far bigger. Find out how HSBC could help you at business.hsbc.uk/mindyourbusiness. All lending subject to status.
Christmas, a time for sharing gifts and laughter, and photos and videos. Make the most of it with a SIM-only deal packed with data from Tesco Mobile. Like a 10-gig SIM for just £13 a month. It's just one of the ways we're celebrating 100 years of great value. Go in store or search Tesco Mobile today. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Ends 29th of December. 12-month contract and unlocked 4G-enabled phone required. Terms apply. See tescomobile.com/terms.
Christmas, a time for celebrating, unwrapping and unwinding. Capture every moment with an epic iPhone 6S with a 12-megapixel camera. Now only $12.99 a month from Tesco Mobile, saving you £72. It's just one of the ways we're celebrating 100 years of great value. Go in store or search Tesco Mobile. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Saving £2 per month over 36 months was £14.99. 36-month credit and rolling monthly usage agreements required. Subject to status. Terms apply. See tescomobile.com/terms.
Hey, NFL fan, can't watch the game? Can't be there? No biggie. With your TuneIn Premium membership, you already have an all-access pass to every team and every game in the league. Amazing, right?
Steps up, floats it towards, at the goal line, it's intercepted!
Listen live as the action unfolds or on demand when you can. Anytime, anywhere, all season long.
Right side, it is caught. It is in for the right side for the touchdown.
Search NFL today.
Here's Youssef Kamel El-Din.
Miku Kumada from LGT Capital Partners is with us. The folks at the Riksbank moving a bit too early, moving back into positive territory, given this sort of broader global consensus that appears to be emerging in the Western world around negative rates?
No, because the Riksbank has been one of the pioneers in terms of negative rates. They were very aggressive, both in terms of their QE, as well as going deeply negative in terms of interest rates when everybody else was still very much standing on the fence. And they have actually achieved to have pretty stable nominal GDP growth over the whole recent period of time where others struggled. And they're also among the very few central banks that actually broadly met their inflation targets. So I think if they decide it's time for them to pare back, that's probably justified.
If I'm looking for an opportunity to trade with quite a bit of volatility, I'd be looking at which central bank could arguably surprise the most. The Bank of Japan or the Bank of England? Which of the two would you pick?
I think the Bank of England is more likely to go, even though I see that as a derivative of our view on the European Central Bank. Get Brexit done, just the exit is done. The new trade deal is still to be negotiated, so there might be some uncertainty there. So to answer your question, I think the BOE is more likely to surprise.
Hear more interviews like this one on Bloomberg Television, streaming live on Bloomberg.com and on the Bloomberg mobile app, or check your local cable listings. Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and on Quick Take by Bloomberg. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
And I'm Karen Moscow. European stocks and U.S. stock index futures beginning the week on the front foot amid hopes a partial trade deal between the U.S. and China eases a key risk for investors heading into year-end. We check the markets every 15 minutes throughout the trading day on Bloomberg. S&P futures up 11.5 points this morning. Dow futures up 53. NASDAQ futures up 35. The DAX in Germany's up 0.6%, and the FTSE 100 up 2.1%. 10-year Treasury down 5/30 seconds, yield 1.84%. Yield on the 2-year 1.62%. NYMEX crude oil that'll change at $60.03 a barrel, and COMEX gold that'll change at $14.8150 an ounce. And that's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now here's Michael Barr with more on what's going on around the world. Michael.
Karen, new poll numbers show Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders leading the field of Democratic presidential candidates. According to an NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll, Biden has 24%, Sanders at 22%, Elizabeth Warren at 17%. Michael Bloomberg is also seeking the Democratic presidential nomination. Bloomberg is the founder and majority owner of Bloomberg LP, the parent company of Bloomberg Radio. In the NFL, the Giants won, the 49ers lost along with the Redskins and Raiders. The Patriots won. Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Quick Take by Bloomberg, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr. This is Bloomberg, Nathan.
Okay, Michael, thank you. It is coming up to 6:19 on Wall Street. Live from the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studios, this is Bloomberg Daybreak. Let's get you set up for the trading day and week ahead. Helping us do that, Bloomberg Breaking News editor Madeline Lim, along with European News Director David Merritt, with us from London and in Beijing. We're pleased to have managing editor Emma O'Brien. Good morning to all three of you. We'll start with you, Madeline. When you look at this market, it almost looks like buy the rumor and the news when it comes to the Phase 1 trade deal with China.
Indeed, we could be actually looking at a Santa Claus rally, Nathan. It's not just the trade deal, though. It's the two big uncertainties that had been weighing in the market before. One was, like you said, trade, and this Phase 1 agreement on trade between China and the U.S., even in light on details, did remove the threat of those tariffs that were going to be increased on Sunday, actually. So that's gone, and this is actually the first sign of a rollback of tariffs rather than, a just on hold or threat of an increase. And the other big risk was Brexit, and that is something that has now been, in the market's view at least for now, dealt with this big majority that the Conservative Party under Boris Johnson now has to get Brexit done, and that will allow businesses to move forward. And then on top of that, the Fed is out of the way and clearly on hold for a while. We've seen some sort of better global economic activity data. So all in all, for investors, it's maybe time to party.
And on top of all that, Emma O'Brien, we also have positive economic data out of China as well.
That's right. Stronger than expected data out of China today, which goes toward muting concerns somewhat that the economy is taking a real beating because of the trade war. We had factory output up 6.2% from last year, while retail sales rose 8%, slightly better than expected. That said, 2020 will be a real test for the Chinese consumer that companies like Starbucks, Nike, luxury names like LVMH and others are increasingly dependent on.
Over to you, David. In London, Madeline mentioned the Fed is out of the way now. So is the ECB, but we've got another central bank decision coming up this week, and it could be the most significant of the month.
That's right. Yes, very closely watched. Sweden's Riksbank is the oldest central bank in the world. It was one of the few that cut rates below zero 5 years ago, and it's looking like it may be the pioneer of exiting that negative rate regime. All of the economists surveyed by Bloomberg forecast they're going to increase that rate from minus 0.25% to zero. Officials at the bank say that the negative rates has done its job. Inflation is at its target, so they can then exit that experiment. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, whether in fact the European Central Bank is going to be able to do the same thing next year. We know that Christine Lagarde is launched a strategy review, but no signs yet that the European economy is strong enough to pull rates out of negative territory.
Back to you, Madeline. We've got new economic data coming for the U.S. this week, including manufacturing print today.
Yep, indeed. We get two manufacturing prints, one from the regional New York Fed for the New York region, and then the other one is the market PMI manufacturing, the provisional December reading. Now, that market PMI has actually been ticking upwards quite in opposition to the ISM reading. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Now, it's a provisional reading, and obviously all this relief around trade and tariffs hasn't yet fed through to any of these numbers. But what we really want to see is in that the sentiment that we saw improving in November continues. And when it comes to GDP, the expectation is it's the final reading for third quarter, so it's going to stay unchanged is the expectation of 2.1% growth. But again, as we look forward and as this uncertainty